Welcome everyone to our notes on lesson 3. This is divisibility by 3, 6, and 9. The goal is for you to be able to say, I can divide by 3, or I can tell if a number is divisible by 3, 6, or 9 without actually dividing. Make sure you've got your pencil ready, make sure that you've got your notes in front of you, and let's get right to it. First up is divisibility by 3. All right, a number is divisible by 3 if the digits add up to a multiple of 3. So for example, 156. All we do is we take 1, we add 5, we add 6, we get 12, and I know that 12 is a multiple of 3 because 3, 6, 9, 12. If it's in 4 times, I know that that's a multiple of 3. But if I really want to make sure, I can add up those digits, and if I get a 3, or any multiple of 3, that will guarantee me that this is divisible by 3. 156 is divisible by 3. But let's do another one. 158. Now I should know that if I'm only adding 2, that's not going to be divisible by 3, but we can double check with this method that we're using. 1 plus 5 plus 8 is going to be 2 more. It's 14, not divisible by 3. Neither is 5. Not a multiple of 3. So we can say 158 is not divisible by 3. The rule is a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. Sum being the answer to an addition question. Let's look at the why of it though. Why does this work? Here we have 234, and here's a picture of 234. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this. And let's focus first on the hundreds. If we were to look at how many groups of 3 we could make in this hundreds, it would take a while, but we would eventually get to this. We would get to 33 groups of 3, making 99. So we still have one little bit left over, right? We would have one little bit left over. And the same thing would happen down here on the second hundreds block. And we could do the same thing for the tens spot. We could say, okay, there are 3 tens, or 3 threes, and 1 left over. The same thing would happen each of these times, right? We would have 3 groups of 3 plus 1 left over. And in the 1 spot, we just have leftover 1s. So let's look at what we have all together. All right. So far, we have 2 hundreds, right? So two groups of 99 plus 2 more. That's how many we have in the hundreds spot. Then, in the tens spot, we've got 3 groups of 9, right? Here we can see 3, or this is 9. Here's another group of 9. 3 nines. 3 nines plus those 3 leftovers. This right here represents the tens. And then finally we have the 4 ones. Okay? We can ignore what's in blue here. We can ignore that because we already know, according to this picture, all of this is already divisible by 3. All of this already divisible by 3. So these 2 99s we can just ignore. We also know that these 9, these 9, these 9, those 3 9s are already divisible by 3, so we just need to worry about these 3 at the end. Same with these. We just need to know whether these together will all, when we put them together, are they going to be divisible by 3? So we go 2 plus 3 plus 4, and we get a 9, which is divisible by 3. 3, 6, 9, it fits in 3 times perfectly. So we know now, because those fit into 9, and all the rest of the hundreds and the tens all fit into 9, since those 9 leftover ones can be rearranged into groups of 3, that means 234 is divisible by 3 as well. Let's look at divisibility. Let's look at divisibility by 9. A number is divisible by 9 if the digits add up to a multiple of 9. For example, 153. We can do the same thing. 1 plus 5 plus 3, 6 plus 9, or 6 plus 3 is 9. So that means 153 is divisible by 9 because what we got here was a multiple of 9. Let's have a look at 155 here. We can do the same method. 1 plus 5 plus 5 is going to be 11, and that means that is not a multiple of 9, and so we can say 155 is not divisible by 9. The rule is a number is divisible by 9 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. Now, why does this work? It's very similar to the groups of 3. Here we have 378, and if I look at how many 9s I can fit, there's a 9, there's a 9, and I can go through the whole thing, and I find I can account for all of the 100 block except for one little piece by putting 9s. I've got 11 groups of 9 in this hundreds block, plus I've got one left over. In the tens, I can do something very similar. I just account for a 9, and each of these tens has 9 in it, has one 9, and each of them also has one little leftover piece left over. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, and also we've got these leftover bits here in the ones spot. So what have we got? We've got 3 groups of 99 that are already in groups of 9, plus we've got these 3 leftovers. These right here are the hundreds. Okay, then we have the tens. So we've got 7 groups of 9. 7 groups of 9 plus those 7 leftovers. These are the tens. Finally, we can add the ones. We've got 8. We can ignore completely these ones because that represents all of these 99 that are already in group of 9. All of these are in a group of 9. We're just worried about these leftovers. If we can add all these up and find at least a couple groups of 9 or one group of 9, some multiple of 9, then we know that we're doing okay and that we found a multiple of 9. So let's add them together. 3 plus 7 plus 8. We will get 18, which is, we can find 2 9s in that group of leftovers. So that means the whole number is going to also be divisible by 9. So we can say, since those 18 leftover ones can be rearranged into groups of 9, that means 378 is divisible by 9. All right, let's look at divisibility by 6. A number is divisible by 6 if it is both even and a multiple of 3. Now, is 612 even? Yes, it is. I can see that the 2 is in the 1 spot is even, so that means the whole number is even. Is it divisible by 3? Well, I can go 6 plus 1 plus 2, so that's 7, 8, 9. 9 is divisible by 3, or is a multiple of 3, and so that means the whole thing is divisible by 3 as well. If it's both even and divisible by 3, then it is divisible by 6. So it is divisible by 6. And how about 111? Well, 111 is not an even number. When I look at it, I can tell it's an odd number. And is it divisible by 3? Well, yes, it is. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, so that means it is divisible by 3, but it has to be both even and divisible by 3 to be divisible by 6, so it is not divisible by 6. The rule is that a number is divisible by 6 if the number is divisible by 2 and 3. All right. So why does this work? Well, it needs to be even since 6 can be split into 3 groups of 2. So any number divisible by 6 can also be split into groups of 2. So essentially, since 6 is already in groups of 2, you can see here's a group of 2, here's a group of 2, and here's a group of 2, right? This is 6. And this is another 6. If we added another 6, it's just more groups of 2. So that means that 12 is going to be in groups of 2. And if it's in groups of 2, it's going to be even. If we added more 6s, it wouldn't matter how many more 6s we would add. It could all be split into groups of 2. All right, but why does it need to be in a group of 3? It needs to be a multiple of 3 since 6 can be split into 2 groups of 3. So any number divisible by 6 can also be split into groups of 3. So essentially, since a 6, right, here we've got 6, and since it's in groups of 3, when we add another 6, right, we still have 12, but since that 6 is made of groups of 3, that means that anytime we add more groups of 6, then we're going to be adding just a couple more groups of 3. That's why it needs to be divisible by 2 and 3. So let's summarize what we've learned today. A number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. We know that a number is divisible by 6 if the number is divisible by 2 and 3. And we know that a number is divisible by 9 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.